Hello! So, I'm here for my first video in over a year, making a review on Skyrim so far. It's an RPG game, it's one player, there's no online any capability at all. Yes. Where to start? If you've played Oblivion, you have a good idea of what the game is like. Or possibly any of their previous games, which I haven't played any other Elder Scrolls games aside from Oblivion, so I don't know how those games work, but Oblivion was a good game. There were some things that were a little goofy, like they've made combat a lot better. Most people, I think, from what I've heard from people personally, is that they weren't a big fan of the combat system. It was a little too flimsy and hack, it was just very rough, I guess. But I can definitely say they've improved it, and I do really enjoy the fact that there is a pretty wide range of capability in terms of being flexible with different types of combat. So, like bow and arrow, daggers, swords, dual wielding, wielding a weapon in one hand and magic in the other, which is that's what I typically do. Or I used two-handed weapons, or, relying solely on spells. So that, I think, is really nice. So it kind of caters to people of multiple playing types. The leveling system is pretty complicated. Like, I find that it's pretty difficult for me to choose where I want to place my points, even though I have a pretty good idea of where I want to take my character as I level up. But there's a lot of you have to take into consideration when you're using your points as you level up. So there's like 4 or 5 different categories in terms of magic. And then there's, the different armors, there's the different types of weapons you can upgrade, and then there's things like your sneaking that you can upgrade, your speech. So you level it by using these abilities, but you can also level it with the points that you get, and you can improve on those particular things like heavy armor. You can increase the amount of armor you get from it, or the durability, things like that. Increase the effectiveness of it, basically. So it's a lot to consider when you're leveling, and you want to make sure you use the points wisely and things like that. Let's see. Overall fun factor so far is high up there. It's very hard to get bored of that game. I mean, I haven't found myself getting bored of it at all. There's so much to do. Sometimes I find myself sitting somewhere thinking, oh gosh, what should I do? Should I do a side quest? Should I do a main quest? Should I work on leveling some of this up? Should I, there's a lot of different things you can do, and the map is gigantic. It took me to get from one city to another on the other side of this mountain. It probably took me like 45 minutes to get there, traveling, and I did have a horse, so running would take even longer. And although the horse that I have isn't exactly a good horse, and I recommend not buying the horse at Whiterun because it's fat and slow, and it's really not worth 1,000 gold. So I wouldn't recommend that. Hopefully there are better ones later on in the game that you can purchase, but I haven't looked into it, so I really don't know. Another cool feature is that you can get married in this game. I thought that was kind of neat. Just like the whole interacting with people, whether you're walking by them or you're actually going to talk to them, it's very, unique. There will be people having conversations with each other, and you can walk by them. I don't know, they're just having very unique conversations, and sometimes you really want to make sure you're listening because it could be something useful, or you could, if you're curious, and it might end up being a quest for you to do. So that's really cool. And even something simple as acting a certain way in a town. I found that I used one of my voice powers in Whiterun, and I used it a few times, and I actually ended up having a courier come to me and give me a letter telling me that the people in the town were uncomfortable with that, and they weren't ready to see, they weren't ready for the Dragonborn again. And that I should, but they wanted to see me develop my powers, and they told me this location to go to. And then I ended up doing it again, thinking, oh, whatever, I'm still going to use it because, whatever. And I actually had a guard come up to me and tell me to stop, and I had the option to tell them, okay, I won't do it again, or, like, don't tell me what to do, or something like that. So I thought that was kind of funny. So even something like using an ability that doesn't hurt anybody, it's just not going to hurt anyone even, or, everything you do affects your surroundings. Ugh, excuse me. And I think that's really cool. The fact that I have such an impact on the game environment is very, it's really unique to me. Also, killing dragons is fun. That's probably one of the coolest things about the game, just that alone, is having to kill these dragons. And they're all the details, like, the graphics are great. Like, the graphics, obviously, I'm sure everybody was expecting to have the game to have fantastic visuals. But, I mean, they are really, really good. And, especially in such a detailed environment, I can imagine that it would be difficult to make I don't know, just, it's good, right? I'm at a loss for words, honestly. And how long do I think I'll be playing this game? It will probably be, I'll probably be playing this game for the next few months. Like, I can imagine that there's so much to do, and I'm aiming to get the Platinum Trophy in this game, so that's, it's definitely going to take some time. Most of them are just time consuming, and not necessarily like do this while doing this, something, that takes like something silly. Like, there's no like silly trophies. It's mostly, complete this or do this many times, so or collect this amount of, that. Whatever. The difficulty of the game, some of it is pretty easy, and some of it is pretty hard. I was doing this main quest, on the main quest line, and I saw a marker on my map, and I was curious to know what it was, and it was really close to where I was at the time, so I figured, why not figure out what it is? So I did, and I saw a giant just kind of hanging out outside this bonfire thing, and there was blood on the ground, and he had a big old club in his hand, and as soon as he saw me, he started, antagonizing me and basically warning me to go away, and I don't know why I didn't listen to him, because I was just curious and I wanted to see what would happen if I walked up to him, so I did, like an idiot. And he ended up killing my companion, and and I was attacking him this entire time for it was probably like 30 seconds, and his health barely went anywhere, so I was like, this was a big mistake. And he hit me with his club and threw me hundreds of feet in the air, and I died, obviously. So be careful. Don't go jumping into anything if you can help it. You never know. Like, yeah, I'm sure there are many more surprises to come in this game, but just watch out for giants, and make sure you have a companion also. Companions are important. They're very helpful, especially when you're fighting a more difficult enemy. You can have your companion direct attention to them while you, wail on your opponent while they're, keeping them busy. So they're basically like the tank and you're the, DPS or whatever. Just make sure they don't die. Because then you have to either, start over if you want to keep them or get another one. So, yes, I definitely recommend this game to any fan of role-playing games, anybody who wants to try one out, anybody who's bored and just needs something to do. I recommend this game right here. Honestly, I don't think that there will be one bad review of this game. I can't imagine why there would be, honestly. So I definitely recommend this game. If you don't have it already, get it. If you can't get it, save up for it, do whatever. And I guarantee you that you will enjoy it as much as I am, or if not more. See you guys.